Hello, everybody. This is Tom Eckert here. You're listening to my podcast, Numerology, a GPS for the soul. This is your place to learn about the true power of numerology and how to use it to bring out the best in yourself, understand your loved ones better, take wise decisions, and prepare for your future. In other words, how to live your life aligned with your true destiny. Take your time to educate yourself and share these podcasts with your friends and family so they too can enjoy the great benefits of numerology. Enjoy! Hello there, and welcome to all my listeners with another episode coming to you today about number 3. I'm super excited. As always, you know me. But before we go in, if you're new here, then first of all, welcome. In this podcast, we discuss numerology as a path for inner transformation, inner growth, and self-understanding. My attempt as an expert numerologist is to make numerology accessible, grounded, and applicable for everyday life matters in a way that it can expand your clarity in life and your perspective, your ability to make well-informed decisions and live in alignment with your soul's path. Now, before we dive into today's topic, there are a few important things you should know about if you want to dive deeper into numerology. So first of all, Christmas is coming, and as such, I'm giving a few special offers that you should know about. So the first off is that you can get a €30 discount on a numerology reading with me. And if you haven't gotten a numerology reading yet, it's something I highly, highly recommend in order to get clarity about your path, understand your soul's choices in this lifetime, the opportunities and the challenges that are part of your life, or maybe even get yourself a yearly forecast for your coming birthday. The offer is valid from December 12th until December 26th, 2022. All you have to do is contact me through my website link. It's provided both in the podcast episode description and in the podcast description itself. Next offer is about my online numerology self-study course. And you can get it for Christmas for €79 only instead of €279. That's a €200 discount. That's the biggest discount I ever offer for this really comprehensive, self-paced numerology course. All you have to do is go to my website, click on the self-study course, and at checkout, simply use the coupon code XMAS2022, right? XMAS 2022. And it's also valid from December 12th until December 26th. Now, if you are defining or redefining your career and wish to pursue numerology as a career, I want to remind you that I offer a full path of certification from beginner to expert numerologist. It's an incredible journey and a full career path. And if you want to know more about it, I recommend you check out the link in the podcast description or in the episode description and contact me directly to know more. Great, my friends. Now, without further ado, and after I let you know about all the special Christmas offers, let us dive into the world of positive and creative number 3. So to me, number 3 represents the most innocent and the most naturally optimistic person. The 3s embody a most natural positivity towards life and towards people. There's something about them that tends to see the positive in the universe and believe in the universe, that that is good, that it wants their best. It wants our best. They tend to see the half full glass in every situation. Their playfulness, creativity, and laughter are truly adorable and absolutely sweet. And to me, I mean, that is already like a great inspiration. Such a beautiful, positive presence. But despite all this positivity, and like all other numbers, as you already know, even our sweet, lovable, eternal child, number 3, has a shadow side, and things can get dark. So let us explore number 3 in depth, both light and shadow. We're going to start by talking about 3's natural optimism and naivety. It's like these two qualities. So as already mentioned above, right, number 3, or as mentioned before, number 3 is indeed perhaps the most positive number by nature. It truly doesn't assume anything bad about people. It also doesn't search for this, lurking, darkness in people either. I mean, again, just comparing it for a second to number 7, for example. Number 7, they always see so many layers at once, and that makes it harder for them to just trust at first sight. They need more time. They really need to test you. But that's not the case with the 3. They are trusting by nature, and they don't look for signs that something is either wrong or dark or lurking around the corner. They simply believe in the good, and they try to spread it around them. They can easily see the good in you and even admire it, just like a child. And in that way, it's truly admirable, inspiring, and very empowering. So having like a good 3 friend around you can really help you remember what's good about you. That's a true gift of theirs. And it also comes without any kind of ego attached to it. They're happy to admire. They're happy to be kind of enchanted by somebody else's amazingness, so to speak. Now, of course, sometimes this optimism is unrealistic and it turns into naivety, where they basically overlook obvious dysfunctional layers of people and situations. And naturally, this can be a door to many disappointments and painful disillusionments, but more about that later. Another very fascinating topic or facet of the 3 is their connection to, or this kind of infinite stream of ideas and creativity that is just part of their being. Now, I personally can't stop being at awe at this free flow of ideas and creativity that constantly flows effortlessly from the 3s. I have some good 3s around me. My wife is one of them. Another very good friend of mine is another. And I just have a few of them around me. And it's as if they have like this constant, unobstructed stream of creative inspiration that enables them to always see solutions to situations, offer new, positive, and creative pathways to problem solving. There's the current of constant, new, fresh, creative, out-of-the-box ideas. They are simply creative by nature, and they love creativity for creativity's sake. And that's really what's unique about number 3. It's not necessarily in order to achieve something, right? It's not about creating great art or creating like great masterpieces. That would fit more number 6, for example. But number 3 just enjoys being creative, just like a child splashing colors on a canvas or inventing like a new game with their friend and just enjoying it without really having a goal, but just the sheer joy of creativity itself, right? Just like a child enjoys playing. It's really like that. That's how number 3s are, and it doesn't change with age. That's a beauty. which naturally leads me to want to talk about their childlike quality, but also the way they so naturally want to promote the good in life and in people. By nature, the threes are childlike and more simple in their nature. Simple people. By simple, I don't mean dumb or stupid. I simply mean simple. Not making things too heavy, not adding unnecessary layers or weight to events and occurrences. They don't overcomplicate things and truly tend to laugh easily, respond to simple explanations, and maintain a childlike spirit all the way into old age. They're also, as I said, like natural promoters of the good in the world. And, just to tie it together with the childlike quality, I mean, when you think of kids, they just, they really believe in the good. It's only after they get burned, right, by life's experiences that they become more cynical or hardened, toughened, and so on. But a child, in essence, just believes in the good and is innocent. And if you tell them that something is nice and they don't need to worry, they believe you. There's something so innocent and sweet about that. And in that way, threes are very similar. They are, as I said, incredible promoters of the good in the world. They believe in the good. They believe in people's inherent goodness. They believe in the goodness of the universe and life. They believe in happiness and in people's right to be happy. And for them, I would even say that happiness is a real goal. They don't need any kind of pompous or grandiose goals, achieving supreme wisdom and supreme enlightenment and whatever freedom of all incarnations and karma. They might say it, but the truth is they simply say, it's all about being happy in the end of the day. So they want to make people happy. They want to make them smile and enjoy life. Think of spiritual teachers. Okay, I, as a spiritual teacher and as a numerology expert, naturally that's my niche. That's what I think of in terms of examples. So think of spiritual teachers like Sri Ravi Shankar. He's very famous. Think of teachers like Thich Nhat Hanh. Both have a life path number 3, and both have such positive, such gentle, sweet, embracing teachings. Not like for example, 7 life path teachers who tend to be more serious and deep and multi-layered and demanding and kind of like very penetrating into the core of truth. It's simple. It's about happiness. It's about being happy, enjoying this moment. Also, Adyashanti, by the way, another wonderful spiritual teacher, comes to mind with his 3 expression number. Again, not life path, but a very, very central location in the chart. And he's such a sweethearted teacher. Again, like a lot of wisdom, and yet everything is given or transferred, transmitted in such a simple and kind and good way. So they offer simple paths to happiness and believe that everyone should and can be happy. They don't offer lofty goals. Happiness is sufficient. We're going to soon kind of move into the shadow side of number 3. But before that, I want to mention one more quality that I find amazing about number 3. And that's their love of learning and their just insatiable curiosity. You know how children always love learning new things, always ask questions, and are infinitely curious? Well, 3s are exactly like that. Their curiosity knows no end, and they love learning and learning and learning. Just like throw at them like any new thing, and they're gonna be happy. Just like new things all the time. They love just being constantly updated and listen to new things, read new things, see new things. It's just their curiosity just knows no satiation, and that's so adorable. And they're really built for that, and because their memory is usually fantastic. Their mind is very alert. Their heart is open and receptive. So they just love learning. They love studying, and their ability to retain information is phenomenal, and to really also like draw it when needed. Draw it out of their memory banks is really inspiring. On the shadow side, they may tend to never feel like they know and will always keep searching for more input. Again, we'll get more into that in a moment as we dive more into the shadow sides. But threes will never be bored of drinking in new information or even wisdom coming from the outside. That's also why, for example, in a 3 personal numerological year, very often people will want to start studying something new. So that's that. Now, before we dive into the shadow side, I just want to remind you about the Christmas offer. You can get a numerology reading with me for a discount of 30 euros off. The offer is valid from December 12th until December 26th, 2022. You can contact me through my website link. It's provided in the episode description and in the podcast description, and book your reading already today. More Christmas offers. You can get my online numerology self-study course for only 79 euros instead of 279. Again, that's a huge 200 euro discount, the biggest discount I ever offer for this very comprehensive self-paced numerology course. You simply go to my website, click on the link to my self-study course, and at the checkout, simply use the coupon code. Again, use the caps lock and enter Xmas, right? Christmas, XMAS 2022, Xmas 2022. The offer is going to be valid from December 12th until December 26th, 2022. And again, my friends, if you wish to pursue a more serious numerology career, more in-depth knowledge, I'm reminding you that I offer a full path of certification from beginner to expert numerologist. Just contact me more to know directly. Click the link to my website and contact me from there. I will be so happy to give you more information. Having said that, let us move into the shadow of number 3. The first thing I want to talk about is how 3s always search for a kind of quote-unquote manual for life. Naturally, just like a child, 3s don't really know who they are or where they are going. And therefore, they tend to meet life's challenges with a kind of shallow attitude, not really learn the core lesson at hand, which naturally just makes lessons keep knocking at their doors, and each time harder and harder, and kind of like slapping them in the face. But instead of really going all the way to the core and understanding, and the word understanding is super important because they always overlook understanding. They just look at things in a very kind of like in face value. They just look at the situational occurrence instead of trying to understand what's behind it. So they will always try to search for a life hack or like a how-to that they can pull out of their sleeve for every situation. So instead of becoming wise, instead of learning from the situation, instead of learning how to understand life thoroughly, they only want superficial instructions, so to speak, on how to be, how to behave in every situation. And that naturally makes them stuck in terms of growth. They remain, children. They remain childish. They will often seek somebody to tell them how exactly they should behave in exactly every situation. And this is what parents tell kids. Don't do this. you can do this, you have to go to sleep at 8, you have to wake up this, now we eat this, you know what I mean? It's and surprisingly, it remains this way for threes very often, again, if they function on their shadow. And again, all of us will also function on our shadow from time to time. Next thing I want to talk about is threes' lack of spine and lack of direction. Now, while openness and curiosity is the positive side of threes, needing constant confirmation from the outside and not having an inner compass is the shadow side. Right? When you're constantly curious, in a sense, you're very open. You're always open. But the flip side of it is that you don't have a strong core of your own. You don't have an inner spine, and that's really the case here with number 3. And they will therefore always search for other people or more powerful minds to tell them what to do, how to be, and how to behave. They won't go the extra mile to really go deep enough and find the answers within. So in addition, by the way, they're also very easily influenced by others and can quite easily assimilate others' opinions and convictions and make them their own without ever discovering who they really are. That's why children with strong 3s and growing up with very dominant parents will often simply follow their parents' footsteps without truly getting in touch with their essence. This is why, for example, sometimes you can find 3s working in very hard-working 3s, and you will ask yourself, wait a second, isn't 3 supposed to be more like a creative, easygoing type? How come they're working so hard and in jobs that really don't correlate to their essence? And well, the answer lies in the fact that very often they're simply assimilating whatever they were told they were supposed to do, and they become that. Unless they're lucky enough to go into an evolutionary path, a spiritual path, find some wise teachers on the way that help them find their own center, and regain their own power and their own path. So they lack a sense of direction in life. And unless they have good and wise influences around them, they may find themselves quite lost as they grow up, not knowing what to do with their life, not knowing where to go. And this, as you can see or already sense perhaps, this is where it gets a little bit sad, a little bit tragic. It's it's one thing to see an adult not finding their way so much, or dealing with challenges and difficulties, but it's much more painful to kind of watch a child, you know what I mean? Dealing with painful topics. And this is why I always say to my students that although 3 is a very positive number, they tend to, in their darkest shadow, okay, of course there's a range here, but in their darkest shadow, it can appear pretty tragic, I must say. Again, let's remember to keep all of this in context and in proportion, right? It's just we must see the light and the shadow of every number in order to understand the full picture and understand ourselves. It's not that it's this or that, it's both. And that's the makeup of the full learning curve. One more topic I want to mention here in terms of shadow is how 3s tend to not learn from mistakes. So really, this is maybe, one of the most difficult shadows to watch, at least for me, with the 3s. I mean, it's how they tend to repeat the same mistakes again and again and again. And you can point it out to them, they can come crying to you, and they can see that something didn't work out. And yet, instead of reaching to the root of the matter, to the heart of the matter, in order to really find a resolution, and move on and grow up, they only look at the symptoms and draw very shallow conclusions that lead right back to square one. And again, this can be very tragic, like a very tragic thing to watch, and makes the potentially happy three into a story of tragedy, really. And it's sometimes, like life will, as a result, like of not learning, not really listening, life will sometimes have to strike them really hard in order to wake them out of their very, very delusional state. Now, here you can see how, right, like this simplicity or naivety turn into self-delusion. And it's really painful to watch, as I said, just like it's so painful to watch a child getting really, really hurt. And just maybe to make it more practical or more kind of understandable, I always like to give this example of a person going into a relationship. And let's say, I don't know, you meet you meet a man of your dreams, and you're so happy, and wow, he's so amazing, and it's so great, and so on and so forth. And after a year, I don't know, you're disappointed, the relationship, fails, and you separate, and you go sit with your best friend. You tell her, I don't understand. I really trusted him. It was so great. And suddenly I discovered that he's really uncommitted. Okay? I don't know why this happened. Okay. I'll give you that, like, for the first time. And then you move on, you find the second relationship. And you're happy and it all goes well. And then after a year, again, you separate. You go to your friend and you say, I don't get it. It's again the same thing. I don't understand why I always get the same problem repeating itself. Why are the guys not willing to commit? I don't understand. This is so unlucky. Okay. Then comes the next relationship. Again, it all starts nice and well. After a year, again, it doesn't work out. You talk to your friend and you say, listen, I think that I don't understand, like, why life hates me, or is there something against me, or why all these guys are always attracted to me? They're not committed, right? Do you hear my tone? Do you hear how it's not reflective? It's like this tone that never really stops to ask itself, but why? Why am I getting people into my life that are not willing to commit? What in me, right? What unconscious energies or beliefs or conditioning makes me either attach myself to people who are not willing to commit, or am I really willing to commit? Am I going to truly look at myself? And the problem is that the threes in their shadow will not do that, and therefore invite again and again and again the same situation with a different person in a different setting, but the exact same situation. So it's I always like to say that for threes, I recommend to have a good 7 life path friend in their life, because they can really support each other. The 7 can really support threes in gaining clarity and growth and depth and understanding. And the threes in turn will bring a lot of positivity, optimism, and goodness to the very heavy world and very serious world of the number 7. So as you can see, threes are a bit polar, we can say, in their expression, just like children, right? Very, laughing very strongly and then crying very strongly, right? So a bit polar. On the one hand, very beautiful, full of goodness, full of optimism. On the other hand, without proper support and proper depth, they can experience a lot of disillusionment and disappointment in life. Again, just like a child, as I said, strong laughter, strong tears. Eventually, the 3 is destined to spread goodness and optimism to the world. And perhaps, in my opinion, that is their destiny. And as always, my friends, I hope that this knowledge keeps inspiring you to go deeper into numerology, and perhaps consider taking it on as a career to make this world a better place. And don't forget, my friends, get yourself a numerology reading for a Christmas discount of 30 euros off. Contact me directly through the link provided to my website. It's provided in the episode description and the podcast description. You can also get my online self-study course for only 79 euros instead of 279. That's a whopping 200 euro discount. All you have to do is go to the link on my website for the self-study course, and at checkout, simply use the coupon code XMAS2022, XMAS2022. Remember, both offers are valid from December 12th until December 26th, 2022. And lastly, my friends, if you wish to pursue numerology as a career, I'm reminding you that I offer a full path of certification from beginner to expert numerologist. Check the link provided in the episode description and in the podcast description, and contact me directly to know more details. My friends, I've enjoyed it a lot. I hope that you too, and I will see you in the next episodes. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. If you did, and you want to go deeper into numerology, check out my website, tom-eckert.com. You can also book a numerology reading or even study numerology yourself through my courses. I'll see you in the next episode.